we found the best travel accessories so you don't have to. And while you don't need these, you'll definitely want it. So let's check it out.
Now, if you plan on traveling anywhere that rains, which is literally everywhere, then you need my #1 travel essential I don't go anywhere without anymore: waterproof shoes from Vessi. These specifically are the weekend sneakers, and they're basically the love child of rain boots and running shoes. You get to keep your toes dry from one, all while staying comfortable from the other. The perfect combo when traveling, as it's one less thing you now have to worry about, because we can all agree that rain kinda sucks. At least now, it doesn't have to ruin your whole trip anymore. Consisting of a thick sole and stretchy uppers, it feels like you're wearing a glove, literally. And just as comfortable as it sounds as well. Coming in several colorways, you can match this to just about any outfit: casual, sporty, and formal too. However, it's the fact that they can handle this, and basically allow you to never have to worry about doing this ever again. That's the real value, because why should rain stop you from enjoying your trip? Look, I've personally worn Vessis for the last few years all day long without any issues. Whether it's walking city streets, climbing park trails, or just enjoying a cold drink on the go, I have never had to think twice about whether my shoes could handle any of it anymore. I'm just confident it can. So if you don't want to worry about soggy socks anymore, details and links down below. Now, we can't talk travel without mentioning luggage, and thanks to AER for sponsoring this segment of the video with their new carry-on. Don't worry, we made sure it passed all our scientific tests before agreeing to take their money. For the unfamiliar, we've showcased AER plenty of times in the past because they're known for their attention to detail, whether it's their designs, function, or just overall experience with their products. So here are a few details in their new luggage that's worth mentioning, starting with their choice of wheels, because this is the first luggage we've tested that has built-in brakes, which honestly is perfect for when you do this. I know you all know the struggle of a luggage that just won't stop rolling away. However, when you do need it to run wild, the Hinamoto wheels do not disappoint, even through some tough parking lot terrain too. Then comes the hard shell exterior, which is minimal, clean, and can take a beating too. I call this the luggage handler test, making sure it can withstand all types of yeeting, because although it will inevitably scratch up, there's no structural damage, cracks, or even problems with the wheels rolling either. I'll be upfront and say AER wanted us to point out the faded edge design too, and we do agree. It's pretty cool how it catches light at different angles. They went ham on these YKK zippers too, rated to be 3 times stronger than any other luggage. It's freaking puncture proof, and can still glide smoother than your Riz game after all of that. The built-in TSA combination lock adds an extra level of protection from curious travelers, and also just one less thing to have to stress about when you're halfway around the world. The interior isn't lacking either, ripstop lining all around. A Fidlock magnetic buckle is super overkill, but so on point with their brand. They've even added leather accents, and honestly, I think I finally figured out what luxury feels like. The compression pad is removable but doubles as a pocket for flatter items, with a few additional pockets on the opposite side. Specifically, this tiny hidden pouch that's designed for an AirTag tracker. The main compartments carry about 4 to 5 days worth of goods comfortably, and while this is the slightly larger model, they have released an updated shorter model to meet more airline overhead bin standards, which I recommend if you don't enjoy gambling with your luggage at check-in. The trolley handle is upgraded with a triangular design for added structural stability, and offers 4 height settings too. Unfortunately, the only complaint and future upgrade I'd have are the handles, because I wish there were more, especially on the bottom for easy grab and go, but in use, even though not the softest, its adjustability lets you carry without cramping too hard. So whether you're flying minimal or packing up for a few weeks, check out what may be the most aesthetic yet functional luggages with the links down below. Now, checking out the gear stored inside the luggage, a tiny gadget that makes other things tinier. The Flextail Zero Pump is a battery-sized inflator for anything with a hole that you can stick it into. Great to fill up beds, pillows, and blow up dolls. But the opposite is true too, as it needs to suck out air to blow in air, making it the perfect travel companion for those overpackers. Paired with a vacuum sealed bag, you can essentially save a quarter of the amount of space your clothing would take up in a bag simply by sucking out the air around it. Using the included nozzles to adapt to most inflatable plugs, which combined with the rubber design, I found as long as it created a seal, it pretty much worked. Now Flextail claims this has low noise, and relative to larger inflators, yeah, but I definitely wouldn't start vacuum sealing your gear in the middle of the night when everyone's asleep. The aesthetic and design itself gives off Gundam and Cybertech vibes with the printed on graphics, which is also useful as it indicates which side to use for inflating or deflating. Powered by a single CR123A battery, it's rated to inflate a camp bed on average about 20 times, so more than enough on your next trip too. Although you could just swap in another battery as well. Made of what looks like an aluminum shell, given how light it feels, you can confidently toss this around without worrying about anything falling apart, especially since it only has one button that requires a double click to avoid accidental blowing in your bag. Plus, for how tiny it is, it unfortunately won't double as a fan, but you can still output at an alarmingly fast rate. Honestly, I'd carry this around just for how cool it looks and use it as a conversation starter when strangers ask if I'm some sort of time traveler from the future or something. Next up isn't stored inside the carry-on, instead on my head. Not only is this Corridor New York cap made of 100% cotton, it's made in the USA, and you can tell in the detail and finish it has over your standard baseball caps from other stores. However, clipped around back is what we're really looking for, a FattyPack. No, I'm not talking about my abs. It's basically a tiny Velcro pouch designed to triple fold around a cap strap. I believe they're aimed at golfers when they don't want to carry around additional smaller objects in their pants, but it also makes for the perfect backup emergency pouch when you inevitably will lose your wallet, as it can fit a little cash and your daily essentials, just in case. It even has a dedicated key loop that hides your key while still being quickly and easily accessible. The nylon exterior doesn't hurt or dig into my head, and the Velcro strip withstands my scientific smack test. Don't worry, it is water resistant for all the head sweaters like myself, but when you don't need it to be in stealth mode, it's also a great coin purse or just a tiny pouch for your tiny tools too. The best part, it doesn't look super out of place, and you can get pretty creative as to where you attach it onto, but my favorite is the secret pencil case mode. Pocket hoarders, unite. On the tech side, my number one rule is to try and look for ways to pack less, and the Anker MagGo 3-in-1 charger packs 3 chargers into one, all in a package that feels smaller than a deck of cards or just slightly larger than my AirPods Pros, which is pretty insane considering this packs a 15-watt wireless MagSafe fast charger, yet weighs less than half a pound. Folding the top reveals a secondary charger underneath, rubber padded because nothing but the best for your AirPods. Then my favorite and an insta buy for any Apple Watch traveler, a fold out watch charger. So when all packed, combined with the 40-watt wall adapter included and the right angle USB-C cable, you can confidently set up this one device on your nightstand and be able to charge all your Apple essentials at once. Plus, access to each one is quick and easy thanks to the raised angle of the watch, but you can also double as a phone stand at your desk too, as long as you don't interact too much with the device itself. It's small enough to use handheld as well, or alone as a dedicated watch charger too, but personally, it's perfect for viewing your midnight movies at multiple viewing angles. With this replacing 3 separate bulky chargers into this manageable package with just a single cable to remember is a no-brainer if you're deep into the Apple ecosystem. Which means thankfully it barely takes up any luggage or bag space, as it sneakily fits into any spare pocket too. This is a blast from the past, if anyone actually remembers iPhone battery cases, because mophie is finally back with the infamous juice pack battery case, and I instantly remembered why I loved it so much. For one, mophie never cuts corners, whether it's the design of the case itself or the safety and integrity of the batteries within it. They make sure when adding this much bulk to your iPhone that it will be worth it. Packing about a 50% top up for your iPhone, you can confidently scroll, take selfies, and record TikToks without worrying about your battery draining while traveling to the middle of nowhere. They also redirect sound with the front speakers too, and have a soft touch matte black finish that's super comfortable to hold when paired with the rounded edges. Oh, and the buttons are just as satisfying too. By no means is this a tough case, but it does offer a decent lip around front, and just by nature on how thick boy this case is, it will also protect your phone. Although we'll never know what it's doing to all those gizmos and gadgets built inside. However, it does still work through our scientific drop tests. And don't worry, even with the taller and thicker size, these smoothed out edges make it pocket friendly, no matter how tight your jeans are. Now, this airplane pocket was questionable to include because it actually needs an airplane to show off. But having tested it with my proxy airplane table tray, I could instantly tell how useful this would be for anyone, especially those who like to wipe their chairs and trays down every time they get on a plane, because it's essentially a tray sleeve that covers the surface and offers additional storage too. A problem we've all encountered at some point in our traveling journeys, but now with the added sleeve, you know it's clean, you can confidently eat off it, plus not have to care about any spillage given it's water resistant, and can be machine washed, lasting you many flights to come. You could also lay your face straight onto it worry free, and even pretend to work on it knowing none of that tray dirt is getting onto your gear. Hanging underneath is the real magic though, as you no longer have to just stuff everything into the front chair pocket. You've got built-in pockets for drinks, phones, and other essentials you need quick access to on the go. There's even a large enough pocket to slide my 14-inch MacBook Pro into. However, what really sold me was this. With all my personal devices, phone, MacBook, and iPad stored inside, it withstood my scientific shake test without ripping a single thread. And when done, it just folds over itself, making an instant pouch to take everything with you and not have to remember if you've packed everything away anymore. Lastly, once unloaded, it folds to about half the size of a tiny sweat towel that can easily fit into your back pocket. If you're looking to stay organized within your luggage, Matador has you covered with their gear and packing cubes. Made of a lightweight yet durable nylon, it doesn't add any bulk, but offers multiple ways to store and separate your essentials. The gear packs are my favorite, with a single waterproof zipper, dual handles, and a adjustable strap so you can fit a range of gear, including clothing too. It's durable so you don't have to worry about tossing it around, and the quick release strap makes it super easy to unload when you've arrived. Now, their packing cubes are fairly standard though, offering 3 sizes, and you're really paying for that detail in stitching and construction here. However, when everything is packed in, there's a level of satisfaction to everything fitting in place, and just knowing exactly where that Iron Man underwear is stored, just in case you have to impress her tonight. When all packed up though, the beauty is how everything stays exactly where it's meant to be, even through several luggage transfers. Add on top the waterproof finish of materials and zippers, not only does it keep your clean clothes clean, but also separates your old dirty clothes from seeping into your unworn collection too. The handles on the gear pack make it easy to grab and toss into your backpack when you land, and the additional hooks around the corners are a nice touch and make for a great impromptu toiletry bag too. A belt may be the last thing you think about when traveling, but these Dango belts might just save you from being stranded in the middle of nowhere. It hides a tiny secret tube-like compartment, great as a backup candy pocket, but in all seriousness, the perfect spot to slot some cash inside in case you ever lose your wallet and a phone in a foreign country. The metal container feels durable, but isn't large by any means, nor is it ergonomic, as you will struggle to stuff things in and take things out of it. But at the height of about a standard key and thickness of a AA battery, the whole point isn't to be constantly accessing it. So I'm not too concerned about the difficulty level. I almost prefer how secure everything stays on the belt when screwed shut. Now, the belt itself is no joke either. I've got the DTEX version, which basically feels like a thick, durable rubber-like material, and the all black metal buckle is minimal, but also says you mean business. It's got law enforcement vibes and definitely on the manlier side of things, so the perfect companion for anyone who likes to keep their love letters with them at all times. Now, I'll be the first to say I've shown this off several times already, and for good reason. This is the most useful, versatile, and I'll be damned the most affordable phone stand out there. And it's all thanks to this ratcheting hinge, because it can be lifted, twisted, and rotated to almost any viewing angle fathomable, and it'll stay put for the whole ride. Combine that with the clamp on both ends, the first being a foam clamp strong enough to hold even the thick boy S22 Ultra in place, and the second star of the show on the bottom, the table, chair, cabinet, or tray clamp, because even though the rest of the stand is plastic, they use a very strong metal clamp here. Combine that with the rubber feet, making it quite possibly the strongest foam clamp that can easily compete with any of its competitors at double or triple the cost. However, don't let that cost fool you, because I completely trust it to keep this $2,000 piece of metal securely in place. Whether it's to enjoy a movie on the plane or make TikToks as a tripod, this is the ultimate hands-free experience. Basically, you find any flat surface and, well, bam. Yeah, it ain't going anywhere. Slide the phone in place and it also passes my poke test while barely falling out of angle. So now washing dishes is 3.5 times more enjoyable, and performing other midnight hands-free activities can be comfortably done anywhere now too. It doesn't even end there. If you're not out and about, you can flip it around and, well, bam, tripling as a table stand as well. A fairly sturdy one, might I add, passing my poke test without tipping over at all. However, through all of that, the foam clamp never let go once, which feels very wrong, given it sort of feels like a cheap plastic toy, but for how little you pay, it surprisingly stands up to quite a bit of rage. When done, it tucks away into itself, making it easy to pack and also double as a really annoying fidget toy too. If there's one thing I hate about travel, it's loud babies on a plane, but hotel shampoo and wash is a close second. So these gravel travel bottles at about 3 ounces a piece can save you time, headache, and space. Firstly, by ensuring it'll pass quality control at the airport and is reusable over and over again. But more importantly, has a built-in label. So you can simply turn and click each label in place if you decide on one trip that you'll have more radiant skin and instead go the natural route of cleaning your hair. The bottles themselves are a thick, flexible rubber, grippy, and utilizing a fairly large hole to fill up without any spillage. And once it is closed up, the leak-proof lid ensures that your toiletry bags stay dry, while the squishy bottle makes it easy to dispense exactly how much you need on the fly. Click shut though, I can confidently toss this around without worrying about it spilling, and paired together, they're designed to nestle into each other, not only saving space, but also preventing them from slip and sliding around in your bag. However, it's just super aesthetically pleasing too. Now look, for someone who's constantly on the run, Mr. Wick probably needs to know where his passport is at all times. Whether he flies coach though is up for question, but this Spigen passport holder is easily the coolest and most overkill one I've tested, and I love it. Wrapped with vegan leather that hides the RFID blocking layer, it's like if your passport had a bulletproof vest on, and it seriously just feels like it too. The outside has an elastic pen loop, perfect to quickly access his tool of choice, then the locking mechanism that easily flips open, but also stays securely shut when needed. And when inside, revealing even more options with SIM card slots, an injector tool, and plenty of room for your passport, then a quadruple pocket action on the opposite side with a really soft finish, because why the heck not? Plus, there's also a key ring if you want to keep everything in one place, and the most satisfying part is clipping it shut. You just know that what's inside is staying inside. But to top it all off, there's a giant sleeve around front, perfect for quick access of boarding passes, cash, or even documents on the fly, but also staying tight enough that nothing slips out on its own. Yeah, if you really love your passport, this is the overkill that it deserves.
Let me know down below, Father's Day gift guide or best car EDC accessories. But that's it. I rest my travel accessories.